Okay. I'm a little behind on this, but I just didn't feel like making a video last night, I guess. So, um, yeah, it's happening. We got a game 7. So for game 6, there isn't a lot to say. LA was great. Boston was horrible. Up and down the court, LA had every player that got minutes for them contribute. Kobe was good, took control of the game. Gasol was great. Gasol was an awesome sidekick. Odom, Odom played well. Vujacic hit some threes. Farmar came off the bench and provided a spark. Shannon Brown had a couple of huge dunks to fire up the crowd. Artest hit his shots and played good defense. Fisher hit a couple of shots. It was just a great up and down effort for those guys. And for Boston, only player who showed up was Ray Allen. Everybody else, top to bottom, sucked. Sucked hard. Except maybe Pierce. I don't know if he sucked, but he wasn't good. So, KG didn't bring it. Nate Robinson, I thought, was playing completely out of control. Rondo couldn't hit his open shots. Glenn Davis, nothing off from him. Rasheed Wallace had a memorably bad game. Yeah, I could talk about that game for a long time, but suffice to say the Lakers dominated in just about every way, and the Celtics sucked in just about every way. I wasn't overly surprised by that, so I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about Game 7, because it's happening tomorrow in 24 hours. Little less we'll know who the NBA champions are, and, I'm psyched. Just, look at me. Of course I'd be psyched for that. So, what do you say about a game like this? So it's a chance to make history. We've only had 2 Game 7 NBA Finals in the past 20 years. Now, those 2 Game 7s, not exactly must-see TV. I'm looking at those games right now. The Spurs beating the Pistons in Game 7. The best player in that series was Tim Duncan. He did not bring it down that day. He played okay, but he missed a lot of shots, turned it over a lot. He scored. He got his buckets, but it was not his best day. And then if you look over for the Pistons, their best player, I guess Chauncey Billups, 3 for 8, never got going, couldn't hit a three. Um, Pretty ineffective on that day, so not his best day. And then if you go back to the Rockets beating the Knicks in a Game 7, Olajuwon, same deal. He had actually a good game. I will say he played well. He did miss quite a few shots. It wasn't a dominant game. He didn't completely take over, but he had a near triple-double, but he needed to take quite a few shots to get to there, so I'm a little hesitant to heap too much praise on a performance like that. And for the Knicks, the losing team, Patrick Ewing, 17 points on 17 shots. He played fairly well, but he was turning it over. Not his best performance. So, we haven't had a superstar raise his game in the NBA Finals of Game 7 of the NBA Finals, rather, since James Worthy 21 years ago against the Pistons in Game 7. Triple-double, 36 points, 16 and 10. Nasty, nasty game from Big Game James. And that was the last time we saw somebody just completely take over. So, this is an opportunity. Tomorrow, maybe it'll be Kobe or Gasol or Odom. Maybe it'll be Allen or Pierce or Garnett or Rondo. Maybe it'll be somebody else, but I hope somebody has an awesome game. I hope a superstar steps up and has a big time game, because we haven't seen that in a while. Not since Big Game James, before I was born. Little before I was born, actually. So, that being said, when you think about the big Game 7 performances in NBA Finals history, Bill Russell had a couple of, 30-point, 40-rebound games in Game 7s. Couple other examples. Bob Pettit, I think, had one, a huge Game 7 to win Atlanta the title. Jerry West had his triple-double in a losing effort. I want to see something like that. I'm not sure who it's going to be from, but I want to see something like that. So, I'm also looking at some of the other performances in those two games. Starting back in '05 with the Spurs beating the Pistons, Manu Ginobili solidified his place as one of the second-tier sidekicks in NBA champion history. You know, you got the Kevin McHale's, you got the Kobe from 2000 to 2002. You got, all those good sidekicks that won championships next to a better player, but Ginobili entered that second tier along with players like James Worthy with his Game 7 performance. 8 of 13, hit his threes, both of them. Hit all 5 of his free throws, 23 points on 13 shots. They couldn't have done it without him. A sidekick stepping up. So I'm looking at you, Pau Gasol. I'm looking at you, Ray Allen. I'm looking at you, now even Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, because Rondo kind of runs the show. Maybe you won't be as good as that, but that's what sidekicks do. Ron Artest, him too. Lamar Odom. Step up and have a big sidekick game. Maybe we'll remember you the same way we now remember Manu Ginobili. Not that he's out of the league, but still, you know what I'm saying. Reaching back to 1994, sidekicks. Vernon Maxwell, 21 points on 11 shots. Got to the line, hit a couple of threes. Sidekicks, man. And even over on the losing side, Derek Harper for the Knicks, 23 points on 16 shots. He gave the Knicks everything he had. Played very well. Wasn't enough, but still, sidekick stepping up. And then I look at the role players who brought it for their teams to win those championships on a Game 7. Robert Horry in '05. 15 points, couple of threes, got to the line, grabbed some boards, played some big minutes. Again, I don't think they could have done it without him. Came out of nowhere. Everyone thought he was washed up. Big performance off the bench. 15 points. Sidekick, not a sidekick even. A role player. Looking back at the Rockets, Kenny Smith, 11 points as kind of the fifth man. Sam Cassell, 13 points in 18 minutes on 6 shots. Put himself on the map as a premier role player, borderline sidekick maybe. And then, once again, even for the Knicks, got to give it up to Charles Oakley. Double-double in that game. That's what he does. So, those guys, we kind of remember their names because they did things like that. They stepped up on the biggest stage. So, in regards to that, I'm looking at you, Jordan Farmar, Shannon Brown, Derek Fisher. You guys, all your contracts are up after this year. How much money do you want to make with your next contract? 3 LA point guards. Who's going to step up and earn that big contract with the Lakers or whoever else? Especially Farmar and Brown because they're young. This is going to be the biggest contract they ever sign. What's it going to be? What's it going to be? This Game 7 can help decide that. Luke Walton. Earn your oversized contract. Do whatever you got to do to earn it. Sasha Vujacic, same deal. One of those 5 guys step up and be that role player. Josh Powell, maybe. If you play, do something. Glenn Davis, Nate Robinson, Tony Allen, Rasheed Wallace. Guys coming off the bench. What can you give them? Go down and be remembered as the guy who hit a couple of big threes. Go down as the guy who grabbed some key rebounds and gave you quality minutes. Go down as the guy who's not going to win Finals MVP, but, he's got a little something. Had a little something for the team to make sure that they won. So, Game 7 tomorrow, I'm hyped. Not too many Game 7s in recent memory. And, I think it's going to be a good game. I do think the Lakers are going to win. The home court advantage is going to be too much. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to say the Lakers are going to win tomorrow. Last thing I can say is Kobe, 29.5 point average in this series against Boston. Wouldn't it be nice if he could conclude this finals averaging at least 30 points a game? It's up to him tomorrow. So yeah, everybody enjoy the game tomorrow. I'll be watching, and see you guys later.